Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is a channel that's ordinarily dedicated to just Jeep stuff, specifically my 2012 Jeep Rubicon, but today's video is going to be just a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about GAIA GPS. This is the mapping application that I've been using on my overlanding adventures for the past 2 years now. And I have to say, I'm super happy with GAIA. It's been, you know, extremely easy to use, works flawlessly on my iPad mini. But what I did discover initially with the iPad mini was because it doesn't have a SIM card, it has no GPS. So I got a Garmin Glow 2 GPS antenna, and it just sits in my center console, and it connects via Bluetooth to my iPad mini, and it works just super good. So as far as the interface goes, it's actually super easy to use. Information such as pace, average speed, moving time, current speed, elevation, you know, they're all super handy, and they're all right at the top. It also gives you a pretty handy feature. It shows sunrise and sunset times. It's pretty handy to have those, and they're right at the top. There's an expand contract button. This will expose setup options. The first tab is the trip tab. It shows your current location. You also have the option of recording your route, and you can also check your GPS signal, because that's fairly important, and it's a good statistic to know when you're out in the country. You can also add photos, and each photo you take will be GPS located, and so it saves it right in the spot that you took it, pretty much. So, you know, if you found a really cool trail and you're not sure if you can you know, find it again, take a picture, and there you go. Search button is pretty obvious. I mean, it allows you to search routes recorded by other users. You can actually download those routes to your device, and that's super cool. If you've never gone on a trail and you're like curious what it's like, you know, that's a really super handy feature. GAIA also allows you to store those routes that you've downloaded in an organized, nice and clean file system. For me, you know, I'm Canadian, so I've got all the pluses, the public land use zones in Alberta, documented. It's all nice and clean and easy to find stuff. I guess that's just my OCD kicking in. Finally, there's a lot of settings to help you personalize your GAIA interface. You know, obviously, you can change your location marker. Unfortunately, I wish I could give it an icon, you know, a little Jeep logo or something, but you're stuck with an arrow. But at least you can change the color of the arrow. There's also like there's compass settings, audible navigation. I mean, you can really fine-tune this application to do exactly what you need it to do. Okay, layers. Let's talk about layers. Which ones do I use? Now, I'm Canadian, but there are going to be different layers that you'll be interested in depending on your location. The first one I use is the public land use zone layer, because in Canada it's pretty important not to stray out of the pluses. Obviously, if you wander into a national park, you're in deep doo-doo. So yeah, that's a layer I use. Precipitation's kind of a nice to have one. I don't use it too often, but it is nice to have, and it shows you you know, rainfall up to 48 hours, so that's fairly handy. As far as streets and roads, there are too many to talk about. There's just too many to talk about, so find one that works for you and use that one. So for me, I found that back roads is about the best one. You know, I've never not found a trunk road or a forestry road. So again, that's something you're going to want to play around with kind of on your own. So the absolute best layer for overlanding is topography. It shows you elevation gains, it shows you where the hills and mountains are, valleys. So it's a really handy layer. Probably the one I use the most. I'm trying really hard not to get stuck right now. So the other thing about the topo layers is they're super small. I don't know how they cram so much data into a very little amount of storage on your device, but they're very efficient, so that makes them even better. The satellite layer isn't all that great, because more often than not there's cloud cover obscuring everything. So for me, that's probably one of the least used layers. But again, if you're trying to find a trail or an entry point or something, and if you've never been there before, you know, satellite maybe can help you. Now, if you're a mountain biker like I am, if you want to throw your mountain bike in the back, although I'm, two-door, I don't know where I'd put my Trek. I figured I'd throw this out there. There's a trail force layer, so it shows you, some popular mountain biking trails, which is a really neat layer to use. But again, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of layers, so you got to kind of download them and mess around and see which ones work for you. Premium has over 400 layers, makes it a no-brainer. Like, just get the premium version and you're golden. So that was a super fast overview of layers. Again, download it, test it out yourself, see which ones are for you. But I guarantee you there's going to be a layer for absolutely everyone, be it hiking, be it ATVs, be it wheeling like what I'm doing. There's going to be a layer that works for you. So there's a couple other features that I'm going to touch on here very briefly. One of the coolest ones is public tracks. So if you're going to an area, you'll notice these little kind of green lines on the trails. If you click on one of them, you can actually download that person's route. Last year when I did this Ruby Falls trail, I was in a big group. I still downloaded somebody's route because, I kind of wanted to know what to expect, where are we going, things of that nature. So public tracks is super, super cool. The other thing that's fairly cool, so let's say you visited some other overlanding site, like All Trails, for example, and you found a really cool trail that you want to check out. What GAIA allows you to do, it allows you to import GPX files. So you can download anyone's GPX file, import it, and then create a route on your device, and kind of plan your adventure accordingly. GAIA has worked well for me on all of my overlanding adventures. The level of detail on the maps for less traveled trails as well as common trails makes it my go-to mapping solution. As far as my mounting solution goes, I'm using the bullet point mounts, and both my iPad and my phone are like rock solid. They're not flopping around. They're totally locked into place. So I'm really happy with my bullet point mounting solutions as well. And for my application, the iPad mini is the perfect size tablet for GAIA GPS. So those are my thoughts on GAIA. I hope you liked it. If you did, smash the like button, click the like button, just do something with the like button. And don't forget to subscribe. And I'm gonna keep heading on this trail, which has been a pretty gnarly trail full of a lot of adventures. Speaking of adventures, check the adventures playlist for all the trips that Ruby and I have gone on. And again, hope to see some of y'all out on the trails. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try to finish off this day. The Drac is out of here.